Hello, welcome to Get Your Mind On. I'm Lori Stohs. Details, details, details. When you hear the word details, does that excite you? Or do you get drained by hearing about the word details because you're thinking, oh my gosh, there's so many details, I can't handle it. Well, guess what? Today it's about all the details. It's what's in the detail. When you think about maybe building a house, when you think about planning a party, when you think about, well, maybe like this week in Omaha, the President of the United States coming into Omaha and planning that big event. Wow, there's lots of details. When you think about an organization, all the things that need to be done to make an organization successful, that's a lot of details. You know, John Wooden says, it's the little things that are vital. Little things make big things happen. Wow, those little things, there's lots of those little things. And are you really good at those little things? You know, let's look at when we think about design. Let's think about, could be when you're creating that new home that you want to live in, all of those details that it takes from the inner workings of the electrical and the air conditioning and the tiles and the carpet and the colors of paint and the blinds and all those things. That's a lot of details. When you think about planning a party, you think about all the things that need to be done and what you need to serve and where it's going to be and what time and who's going to do what. And that President of the United States issue, when you think about that happening, all those things, who's doing what and where is he coming from, and oh, he's going to visit somebody in their home, and what does it take to do that? And when you think organizationally, when you're thinking about launching a new product and thinking about the creation of the product, to the materials, to the messaging, to the who's going to deliver and how's it going to go, there's lots of those things. So those things are very important, because what happens if those details aren't taken care of? Well, things could fall apart, right? We could miss something. The experience could not be as good as it could be if those details aren't there. Now, some of us have eye for details and some of us don't. Right? So Scott and I, every week when we are videotaping, we look at the little details in the video to see what's around. Is this looking good? Should we add color here? Or should we change this or that? Or do you see a switch out of my head? You know, those kinds of things. Those are details that you may not notice, but some of you notice. I know some of you notice all those things. Some of you comment on my jewelry every week or something, because those are details. So some of us are made for knowing the details and seeing the details, and we have an eye for the little things, the picture that's off just a little bit, something that's not matching, something that you can see clearly when you're implementing a program or a product that we're missing some pieces. So that's a clear talent. That's a talent that you have to have an opportunity to give the details of what needs to happen to make it successful. Now, some of us are more bigger picture and we don't see the details as much. Maybe more of a visionary leader, a strategic leader who sees the big picture of what is needing to be accomplished, but doesn't really understand the details. So sure, that's easy. We can get it done in no time at all. And the other part of the team is going, but there's lots of details and that takes lots of time. And here's what happens if we don't do them. So as we can see, both of those components are critically important. We need the person who builds the vision and the strategic picture of where we're heading, and we need the person who really knows the details and knows everything that needs to be done from A to C to make it successful. So bringing the two together is successful. Sometimes though, if we're very detail oriented, we're sometimes caught up into our work and we see all those details, but we might lose sight of why. Right? We might go back to that checking the box and getting everything done because we're on the ground making it happen, but we're kind of forgetting where does it link to. So that's when we have to manage those details. So sometimes if you're very detail oriented, which we love you because we need you, we need to make sure that we don't forget to lose sight of where we're heading or why we're doing what we're doing. The other thing is sometimes we can take the details to a little bit of an OCD level, that maybe we get a little bit far to the right and we are so caught up in the details that maybe we want it perfect and maybe there isn't a level of perfection. So that's where the balancing act of managing our details, as well as the individual who has the big picture piece, understands the details, that we kind of manage that with a timeline. I think that's really, really important. So when we think about those pieces and how we can make it the best that we can make it, it's really thinking about the detail orientation with the big picture and how we can both align together. So for positive charge this week, first, think about your detail orientation. Are you more detail oriented or are you more that big picture piece? You know, that's a pretty easy yes or no. Number two is, if you are detail oriented, can you express yourself to align your details with the big picture? or are you being more transactional? And 3, if you find that your detail orientation gets in the way, how can you manage that? So we know whether we're building a home or we're planning a party or an event, or we're having an organizational impact with a new product launch or a new program that we're implementing, the big picture and the details are important. It's in the detail. We have to make sure we get the details to make the big picture happen. If we don't do the planning with the small details, what we were looking at to accomplish in that vision may not be achieved. Thanks for joining us today, and remember to get your mind on.